Hello, Facebook. Hi, it's Chris Adams here, and you know what I realized I just forgot to do, but we're live, so we can't do it. I'm gonna do this for the post. I'm gonna get your information, but I just wanted to let everyone know that we have the band is back together.
It has been a while. Hi, I'm Jerry.
This is my former co-host from Drinking Buddies, which we used to do amazing shows together. We used to do what was it? We interviewed Adam Carolla was our first ever guest. We interviewed.
Yep.
And then we did Kevin Hart before when he would call us back.
We did Mark Maron a couple of times.
We did Mark Maron a few times. Bill Burr once. We went to see Paul Provenza in person, and he liked my story.
Dana Gold.
We went
met
to
him in a studio.
At a studio on the lot. I
like listening to other people's credits. Really, my credits are just talking to other people who are famous.
Yes,
that's been it.
So everybody, the band is. I'm trying not to look at myself. It's weird.
I know. That was my first instinct, was to look at the television, and I realized, see, the first rule of Hollywood, kids, is you got to look into the camera. Don't worry about the TV. Look in the camera. That's your audience right there.
Yeah.
That's my old timey Hollywood producer guy.
And I should please share this, because if you've never heard us together, we are quite.
Yeah, don't judge this first 5 minutes. We're just feeling it out a little bit, but trust me, it gets better as we go on.
But before it gets worse.
Well, that's true, but
so please share. I'm gonna try and share this myself. Hopefully it'll let me, because sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah, see, you got to do it beforehand. You say we're gonna stream.
No. I know. I'm an unprofessional professional.
Ah, I see. See, I shared it on my feed already.
You did?
I told everybody to tune into your feed.
Oh well,
but I told them to do it in 5 minutes.
Well, this is the pre-roll.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the pre.
So none of this matters yet.
No. Well, it all matters. See, you were about to get a resigned sigh from me, which is a little thing.
That's a goal. That is a goal of mine. I'm going to get a resigned sigh before the end of the show. I guarantee it.
Yeah, there we go.
If not a couple. If you've never heard Chris sigh just with so much just resignation to what's going on in our conversation, it is fantastic. It is beautiful. So we're going to try to make that happen before the end of this show.
Yeah, so we've been friends for a very long time, and today I wanted to talk to Jerry about an important topic, but it's gonna be funny, but marriage. So stay tuned for that.
Marriage, it's hilarious.
I feel like I kind of feel like I have to make that disclaimer. Like, I mean, it is kind of funny, right?
Yeah, no, marriage is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I laugh a lot in my marriage, so that's.
Yeah, you have one of the most successful marriages I've seen.
Thank you.
And I knew, I will say this, I knew when you first started dating her that you were going to marry her. I was like, I could tell, and you did bring it up, kinda.
Yeah, no, I knew pretty early on that we were going to be together. I knew she was my person. Like, I think I figured that out very early on. I don't know if I was like quite on board with the whole getting married thing, because I had been previously married and had been very unsuccessful for various reasons, which I think we'll get into. But so I had been soured on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then the more time we spent together, the more I realized, like, yeah, I really. Not only do I want to spend my life with this person, but I want to, go through the process of like showing everyone and declaring my love and having this ceremony that, which I think was fantastic. And it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been a year. We just celebrated 1 year together. So
wow, perfect timing then.
Yeah.
All right, let us start the show.
All right.
I'm going to run the little. It's free copyrighted music that I could use.
Yeah.
It's because, old music, old-timey music is definitely public domain.
Oh, yeah. I definitely felt like I was in like an old saloon, and there was like a player piano in the corner.
Yeah.
With a guy with a big mustache.
Well, it's also fitting for drinking buddies, although we're drinking coffee because we're that kind of drinking
We've
buddies.
grown up. I actually finished my coffee. Now there's just an empty Starbucks cup here.
What's crazy? Well, if you
It's
look,
like the game of...
look at how the coffee cup looks. It's invisible.
Ah.
Because of the green screen.
Yeah, it's good.
He's not the Invisible Man.
Take that, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. we finally did something one up on you.
Yes.
But so yeah, well, thank you for. I normally have. I'm all over the place today. I am a mess. But normally I have graphics and things like, hey, everybody.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, but again, if you're just tuning in right now, this is Jerry Brandt. He is. Well, we used to do Drinking Buddies, and I just saw the notification post that it was about 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's crazy, right?
Ooh.
It's crazy that it's because we started. My timeline for everything is based on Coachella.
Okay.
So
okay.
My first Coachella was in 2010, and we started the podcast, I think a couple of weeks after I went to my first Coachella.
Okay.
So I kind of keep that on. Like I remember our first show, we talked about that experience of going to Coachella, and I was like crazy about it and how much I loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm still a crazy Coachella person. So if you're not into that, I'm sorry, but I'm one of those people that goes every year and loves it.
And Burning Man.
Burning Man once.
Okay.
One time. And probably not this year, but we're thinking about going back next year. So
okay.
Yeah.
Now I've been with you to Lightning in a Bottle.
Yep.
Which was
that's my favorite festival.
Yeah, the people there are, I would say, more loving.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing, right? So
except for that guy on meth.
Coachella is very much about the music and the artist and just seeing the music, and that's great. I love that. Burning Man is kind of like all about the experience, the growth, and the music is kind of secondary.
Okay.
LIB kind of like walks the line in between where the music is important and they get a lot of great acts and that's a really cool part of it. But there's also a lot of like community building, learning about yourself. There's workshops on everything from, cooking proper food that is healthy and stuff and different yoga techniques and then tantric sex and all kinds of like all the hippie stuff you could ever want available under one giant platform, which is now in Bakersfield this year, which was
really
Lake Buena Vista, which is just outside of Bakersfield, which is actually, it was a really cool venue this year.
How was the weather?
It was nice. It was earlier in May this year. They had to move it back from Memorial Day this year because the venue change kind of happened like
all
late in the game.
Yeah.
So the place was already booked up for they typically have it on Memorial Day weekend, but they couldn't do it on Memorial Day weekend because the venue was already booked for another event. So the weather was a little bit cooler, but it was nice. We had there was a lake there to swim in, and then they're going to move it back to Memorial Day next year. So
okay,
yeah, it was great.
Now I you know what, I could bring something up, but I'd have to run. I'll be slightly off camera, but I discovered Devin Buse at the last time I was with you.
Okay.
But I was with David, actually. It was like 4 a.m.
Right.
It was like a super secret show or something.
That was the artist with all the different... I remember you telling me about this, with all the different instruments, and he's playing them all at once kind of thing.
Kind of. Yeah. I could show it if
yeah, I mean, do you want me to vamp?
Yeah.
Do I vamp?
Yes. What is vamp?
That just means like I'm killing time while you do something off camera. Yeah.
I will. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to pull this up.
Could I? I'll do our sponsor. Should I do our sponsor?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do a sponsor drop.
Right.
Brought to you today by coffee.
Today's show also brought to you today by the same sponsor I have for my comedy show, Lover's Quarrel, which is seeking a new venue. So venues out there, if you need a comedy show that is awesome, check me out and come look up Lover's Quarrel, which is a comedy show where I have 2 comics take sides in an argument that's been had by a couple. So that's a fun time. But that sponsor is Weed Maps. Weed Maps. Answering the question, where's the weed at? Since 1999. Weed Maps. I didn't know weed needed advertising, but apparently they do. Like there's billboards all over Los Angeles. It's very legal here, which I'm excited about. Also, mushrooms, now legal in 2 cities. So rest of America, listen to Oakland and listen to Denver, and let's get it together. Mushrooms should be legal too. And I want that to happen. And I want Shroom Maps to be a business that I can
Shroom Maps?
that I can also.
Well, aren't they selling them at isn't it where was it?
I don't know.
On
the internet somewhere, I would assume.
No.
They're
actually going to sell them at what was it called? Like I thought they were going to sell them at like stores, like not just weed stores, but they're going to be
the mushrooms. I'm sure they're going to have like mushroom dispensaries kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't read much into it other than just knowing that, like the headlines. That's how I digest the news. Is I read the headline for whatever it is. Like, oh, okay, cool. Now I know all I need to know in that 3-minute headline. It works for me.
Yeah. So let me. Oh man.
This is very professional, folks. We here at Afternoon Tonight are the topmost professionals. Oh, there we go. There's some music.
Ah, dang it.
Oh.
There it is. All right. So this is what I saw. Look, you can see it while we're.
Oh, this is weird. I don't know how I feel about it.
Do you not feel like this is well, also...
He's a little too close to me for me to feel okay with it. Like, that's a giant hand.
No, because the camera guy sucks.
Oh, okay.
But this is what I was viewing. And this song specifically was like...
In real life.
Yeah, I was here. You can't see me dancing because I don't know where I was. But
yeah, but you were in there somewhere.
But this is a 4 a.m. like just... And he's remixing Childish Gambino, which is cool.
Yeah.
But this is like a 4 a.m. show at, like...
It was at the Grand Artique, right? It was in that
yes.
area. Yeah, I remember. Okay.
And this dude, very nice guy. Like, he has... There's
not a lot of assholes at LIB, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's a very lightning in a bottle, very much a very kind community of people.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop playing it so I don't get taken down.
Okay.
But
can you figure that out?
Yeah,
I believe in you.
I know.
Once again, very professional. And all right.
Yeah.
I think you've made it.
I did. Well, who knows? Oh, wait, what?
You hit the space bar with your little thing, and the space bar pauses and stuff.
So anyway,
you got to resign side from me before I got one from you.
See, this is what you've come to know and expect from me, which is I'm running the show by myself, so it's a little hard sometimes. But,
right. No, I understand.
Yeah, which is what you used to do. And
yeah, I carried you for years on Drinking Buddy, so I completely understand. I used to run that show completely by myself. There it is. I knew it. I knew I would get it, ladies and gentlemen. And wasn't it a thing of beauty? Did you love it?
Yeah, it's just me accepting my fate. There's probably more. It's hard to tell. What the actual numbers are. Yeah, thanks for anyway. but like I said, I went to LIB. It was with David Moore. It was like 4 a.m, and we're like, let's just see. Cause all the normal stages were shut down, and then there was this like little venue, the Grand Artique. And up in a little area, like it's not a secret area, just up in a certain spot. And this guy was just jamming out, and I was like, "This is cool."
Yeah, like, that's what I love about music festivals in general. Is sure I go for artists that I know I want to see and that I love, but also like that act of discovery at a music festival when you're just walking past a stage and you hear something that just catches your ear, and you stop to check that out, and you're like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, like that's an incredible thing. Like I love that about music festivals.
And I messaged the guy after too, and I was like, hey man, I just wanted to say I absolutely loved your set, and I thought it was just so cool what you're doing. It's so unique and it's different. I haven't seen it before. And he was like, thank you so much. Like, just down to earth, humble.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just happy to be there.
Maybe you should reach out to him and be like, hey, Afternoon Tonight needs a theme song.
Oh yeah,
and if you know,
well, I don't make the big bucks yet. So.
Oh well, that's true.
And I don't want to not pay people because I believe in paying people for their work.
You want them to.
Yeah, I want
to be compensated.
Yeah, because I can't. I reached out to one musician who I absolutely love, couldn't afford it, and I was like, oh man, hopefully soon, maybe next month, but.
Don't do anything for free, people. Never give your stuff away. If you're an artist or you make anything, that idea of like, oh, you give it away and then you get more. No, don't. You've now set your price as free, and it's only bad for you. So, although
this is free,
know what you're worth.
But it will cost you a share. Please share it. Share it to your friends. Anyone that remembers the Drinking Buddies days, this is.
They're paying the price of staring at me for 45 minutes, so I feel like that's not free.
Yeah, that's true.
In 4K, nonetheless.
Well, no, it's downgraded to 720, so you're fine.
All right.
So
well,
it's more doable. Yeah. But anyway, on to the topic of the day. I had to talk about LAB because
Sure, yeah.
I've been trying to share that to people. Like everyone, I've been saying you gotta check Devin Buse on YouTube.
BUSE?
BEWS.
See, that's a good thing I asked because I would have gotten that all wrong.
And then Devin, like DEVIN.
Got it. All right.
Buse. No, not that many followers. Down to earth dude. Cool musician. Makes some. There's this really cool James Brown track he remixes. I like
cool.
that.
All right.
But anyways, on to the topic of the day because this is professionalism at its finest. Marriage. Now I wanted to have you on because I think that marriage is something that it's not. I think a lot of people are they're looking for a perfect person, which I think is the wrong way to go about it.
Sure.
Right. I mean, I don't know. You're the married one, so I'm gonna ask the questions, I suppose. But
so yeah, I think there is sometimes, and I made this mistake earlier in life of thinking I needed the relationship would always be perfect, and it never is. There's always a little bit of compromise, a little bit of struggle. There's always going to be tension when you bring two people together and you spend, a constant amount of time. There's always some tension, and a perfect relationship isn't never having that tension.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's knowing how to work through that tension in that partnership, like together. And that's not like saying like, oh, we're just gonna ignore our feelings and not talk about them, or I'm just gonna push this down because I don't want to have the fight. It's having an open and honest conversation, which is not yelling, not name calling, not being mean, but just like, hey, I feel this way about this thing, and I just want to talk about it and get it out there, and that's generally that generally gets it through. Gets through it, I should say.
Yeah.
Gets it in.
Yeah. Well, that's the best part.
That's the answer. And I say that, and my wife and I actually we don't really argue that often. We very rarely have disagreements, and I think it's because we have a lot of open communication in our relationship. We're very open and straightforward with each other, and that doing that constantly prevents us from having arguments later about stuff that we haven't talked through.
Yeah,
right?
but you are honest even when you do have some disagreements. Because I'm your friend,
right?
I get to see how to me it's like how a man should act in a relationship, where it's like you are firm, but also you will listen. So you'll be like, no, this is what I think, and it's not like you're not like.
I'm not mansplaining or discounting her feelings or anything like that.
But you are standing up for yourself as well.
Right, yeah.
And in turn, she does for herself. It's like a respect both ways type of thing.
Yeah.
And that, I've noticed that. And good job, Jerry. I give you a thumbs up in real life.
Thanks.
I would say Jerry's actually one of the guys that has taught me how to be more of a man over the years.
Thank you.
I've lived with this man for like way too long. People made jokes.
That's right. He lived with me, and I taught him how to be a man, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, not like that.
No, not like.
Oh, okay.
No. I meant like as in how a man should act in relationships, in life. You don't like just like that thing you just said right now. If you're an artist, don't just do things for free. Know your worth. I mean, those things. I don't even think you think about it actually a lot of the time, but you do things like that, and I've noticed.
I mean, I guess, so I'm, for the audience listening, you can't tell because I look so young, but I'm 40. So I've been around the block a few times, and I've been through life, various things.
You've been in the military?
Been in the military.
Navy vet?
Yep. I have been through one marriage that wasn't such a great success, and I was very young at the time, and I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But also, I've had and survived cancer. I had a child very young. That's a big one. Like I had a kid when I was 18, and I had to figure out how to be a father and be there for her, even though we weren't living in the same household. Like I had to figure all that out.
Yeah.
And I think all that experience has got me to a point in my life where when I met my wife, Meg, I was ready for it in a way that I had never been previously. Right.
Yeah.
So I wasn't always this great communicator or good at like putting my feelings out there and being open with it. There was certainly points in previous relationships where I was just kind of not the greatest person. You know, I was kind of a jerk or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I've been there for those too.
But I think all those experiences too, like you're going to have, like nobody's going to like just right out of the gate, or I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people are right out of the gate, that very first relationship, everything's going to go perfect and you've got it all figured out, right? All of those previous relationships that maybe didn't go as well as I would have liked at the time, all of those experiences got me to where I could be who I am with my wife now.
Yeah.
So I am appreciative of them, even the ones that were, you know, really hard on me when they ended. I'm appreciative of those experiences for what I have now. So,
and I would say like failure, just like in comedy, failure is important. You know, because you're going to go through that in life, and I think the difference between successful people and not successful people is how do you handle failure. So when relationships,
crying and in the shower with vodka usually.
Vodka, yeah.
Oh, that vodka shower cry.
Well,
today's episode is brought to you by crying in the shower with a glass of vodka. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't tried it, do it. It's so good.
It sounds wonderful.
It's the saddest, happiest thing, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, what was that? You used to have a joke about that, like beer cries or beer showers.
It's been a while since I've done it, but the basic premise is just coming from my eyes, honestly, like the whole time.
That's true. Yeah. Sadness orgasm.
Yeah. Little sadness orgasm in the shower.
Yeah. But accepting the failure, that I think maybe, I don't know if it's today, because I'm not going to say what people do today. I don't know honestly what most people do, but I feel there's a sense that people are trying to make this world perfect, but you can't, like none of us can. We don't have that kind of power.
Right. I think not to be the old guy on the couch, but the instant gratification society that we live in, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much that you can just have that used to be a struggle to get.
Yeah.
Like basic things.
Yeah.
To get $40 of my own money from the bank, I used to have to go to the bank.
And go into the bank.
In the hours between 9 and 5 when the bank was open. I didn't have just like a card in my pocket that I could walk up to anywhere. Or even more nowadays, like an app on my phone that I could just be like, boop, oh, I don't have my wallet? No, cool. I've got Apple Pay. It's good. You know, like little things like that. Like a lot of the normal struggles of life have been reduced. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, as a society, we don't handle struggle very well anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Like if things are hard, we're just like, I'm out. No, I'm not going to deal with it. Like I'm gone.
Absolutely, and that even goes to relationships too.
Absolutely, yeah.
People like, oh, the smallest thing she did or he did something, and I'm out. It's like, well, you know, back in the day, you kind of were in for a longer haul, and you had to figure out how to make things work. And I don't even think people necessarily just loved each other. I don't think it was always based on love. I think it was based on convenience sometimes.
Sure, or it was based on the fact that you
survival.
did get married at, back in, you know, like the 50s, 40s, 30s. Excuse me.
Oh.
Before, sorry, that was a camera burp, and I was very good to not do it on the microphone. But
yes, professionalism.
Sorry, 50s, 40s, 30s, when divorce was, you know, so much more frowned upon.
Yeah.
People didn't leave relationships. They either figured a way to work through it. And I'm not saying like the 50s, 40s, and 30s were perfect. I don't want to idealize anything. Yeah. I'm a white guy, so I know wasn't great for everybody. But I think some of that, having to struggle through that, built better relationships, right? Because you had to figure it out one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And I think people sometimes or more often did. Whereas now, like, it's so much easier to just walk away from something.
That's true, because there's an app on your phone you can.
There's an expectation. I've actually seen this with guys too. Like I've seen guy friends be like, "Well, I don't know. Like I like this girl. I really care about her, but I don't know if like maybe there's something better out there. So I'm not like ready." And it's just like, and guys, if you get a good one, there's not something better out there. There's not. If you can find somebody that you love, that you care about, that's great for you. Like the next thing isn't necessarily going to be better than that. And by the way, remember how hard it was to meet that girl in the first place. It's a struggle out there. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're just like, just because you have that app on your phone, you're going to just like meet women left and right. Like, don't throw away a good thing. The bird in a hand is worth 3 in the bush. Is that right?
Something like that.
So 2 in the bush, maybe?
Someone knows old
colloquialisms.
Colloquialisms or aphorisms.
Aphorisms.
I learned that from Norm Macdonald, who is probably the smartest person He's smarter than Neil deGrasse Tyson. I just talked about that yesterday.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't see it, but
it's fine.
I'm sure it was great.
Yeah. No, Neil deGrasse Tyson said something on Twitter, and then Norm Macdonald is just like almost genius level, and he's like, well, here's what you didn't see about your premise, and he just like breaks it down, and he like check it out. Norm Macdonald, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Twitter.
Got it.
But back to the topic. So yeah, right now people are. It's a, and I notice this even when I'm on. I take public transportation a lot. I notice this on the train. Everyone's kind of looking at their own phone. Everyone's about themselves.
Yeah.
And that's creating a society where we're not as much of a community as we used to be, and we lose community. We lose a lot
absolutely.
of things that are actually important. And if you don't, luckily I feel like I have a community, but it's with my friends, like you, Meg, your wife, Lori, and some other people.
Yeah, we have a good group of people around us.
And what with that, life is a lot better, right? And so when you find that person that maybe they aren't perfect or maybe something's off, but they love you and you love them, that's huge. I mean, that's the thing that men used to go to war to hopefully be able to be worthy enough to get.
Right.
We used to throw ourselves into battle.
Well, that's because we couldn't talk about our feelings back then. So it was just like, I need to go shoot something because I can't emote.
Well, and actually, I almost wish we went back to it. No, I'm just
kidding. Too much emoting these days?
Looking
much. At you, Drake.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. That's okay. A happy Drake is. I mean, it's cool and all, but I hope I don't want the Toronto to win that much more because. Drake is a bit much.
Is it much? He's a lot. He's a lot.
He's the Spike Lee 2.0. Where it's like, dude, come on.
Spike Lee was the original Drake. You said earlier.
Spike Lee was the OG Drake.
Yeah.
Spike Lee was the original, and man, I hope the Knicks never get good.
On the other hand, Billy Crystal's a Clippers fan. So I could be down for the Clippers to get good.
I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, I know. As a Lakers fan, I'm supposed to hate him, and I really don't. It's hard to hate somebody that has
so
struggled, for so many years. Like, I would love to see. Also, I'm an LA person. Like, I love Los Angeles. Yeah. This is my town. I'm a huge fan of Los Angeles in general. So if the Clippers were to get good, I would be okay with it because it would be great for LA, right?
Yeah. Although I think the Lakers can get good sooner than the Clippers. Maybe. Hopefully.
I don't know. The Clippers are pretty good this year, so I think we can both. I think both teams have a chance to be good teams next year, and that would be really fun for the city to have that rivalry be something that's meaningful and matters. It would be great.
Quick shout out to the people that are watching right now. Dre Scott.
Hey, what's up, Dre?
From K Beach Days.
Yeah.
What's up, dude? Andrew Santa Maria, Jason James, and Hooter Moreno. So that's the guy he's
awesome.
Yeah. But
great name.
Hooter.
I like that, yeah.
Yo, he's funny too. He's a comic.
All right.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah. So I hope I want the Lakers to be good, and I'm hoping we get Anthony Davis.
Yeah. I mean, time will tell. I think it seems to be I noticed. So the odds came out for the NBA championship for next year. That came out, and the Lakers are the favorites right now at I think it's 9-3 odds or something like that, which is the best odds. And I feel like that's not based on their current roster. That's Vegas knowing something, right?
And usually the odds makers, especially sports betting, they kind of are pretty good most of the time, except for the St. Louis. Oh, okay. I saw this on Twitter. It was kind of cool. St. Louis won the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
And I'm glad because
Go Blues.
Go Blues because I don't like Boston. I don't know.
Just watching Boston be denied a championship is the greatest feeling.
And I was laughing when these Boston fans were beating each other up.
Yeah.
And I commented, Ian Bagg posted it, and I commented, I was like, Boston strong, because their fans just like to kick each other.
I mean, can we just, I'm sorry, can we just stop shitting on sports fans for being jerks to each other, because guess what? That's sports. Like,
I know.
Sorry, all sports fans are jerks, and like I love it when like one team like loses and then they go like, oh, look at this fan base. These fan bases are such dicks. But the last time you won, guess what? Your fans were being dicks to the other team's fans.
Well,
like it's just
when the Dodgers win the World Series this year, there'll be riots.
Oh, definitely.
There will be, and I feel like it's going to happen. I don't know when this became a sports show.
I don't know.
We're just two dudes. We both love sports. The Raiders are not going to. Maybe I don't know. Raiders, my other team.
Anytime a team is going to be on Hard Knocks, not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Yeah. So this is what we used to do in Drinking Buddies. We used to just like go off.
We just rambled on whatever time. Yeah.
But I again. But you do have a great wife, because she'll even like support, like come out to all the like games and hang out with us. And
she's gonna go. So case in point, I have tickets to Monday Night Raw on Monday that a friend of mine bought for him and I, and then he's unfortunately not going to be able to make it because he has to deal with a family thing. And so I didn't have anybody else to go. I was like, hey, do you want to go to Raw with me? She's like, yeah, I'll go. She's not like a wrestling fan per se, like she's not like super into it, but she just wants to come and hang out with me.
She wants you to be happy, and she wants to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. She's very supportive in that way, and it's a really good feeling. Like I think that my favorite part of being married is just knowing that I always have someone in my corner who has my back 100% and is just like she's down for me, right? She's my ride or die. Yeah. And she's always been that since pretty much the moment we met, so.
Yeah, I could tell that early on, because again, we used to be roommates, and so I remember that first moment I think it was either the first or second date when you came back.
Yeah.
And you were just like, dude, I think this girl is special.
Yeah. I think it was probably the second date. Because that was a really good date for us.
Yeah, and like I'm like, this woman is different,
Yeah.
Because I was there when the ones that weren't that good.
We don't talk about those.
No. But you need those in life.
No. Like I said, like every relationship I've ever been in, even the ones that like weren't serious for me, or maybe weren't serious for the other party, like or weren't maybe the healthiest. Like every single one of those taught me something along the way. Even if it was just like, I don't ever want to do this again.
Yeah. Well, that's what you learn. And I'm even thinking back to some of my past ones. I now know what I don't want.
Yeah.
Which is
I think that's
invaluable
you learn.
Information, and then you learn what to look out for next time for the next person, the things that you don't want, and how to, if that person displays any of those, you're like, well, this is just not going to work.
I think you also learn how to honestly communicate that to someone. Like, look, I love you and I care about you, or I care about you and I could see this going somewhere, but I can't deal with this certain thing. My wife had been through, she had just been in some really bad relationships and guys that weren't respectful of her, that had, stepped out on her, cheated on her kind of thing. And so when we first started dating, there were some jealousy issues early on in the relationship. And I kind of had to be like, look, I have a lot of friends that are female, and I'm not having sex with any of them because that's why we're still friends.
It usually ruins things.
I mean, it can. I mean, it doesn't always. I mean, my wife is my best friend, so that's maybe not fair to say. But
but that's different.
Right.
A friendship, it doesn't last usually.
But I was just very upfront with her and honest with her about it. And then there were things like for her with me, it was like, hey, like I love that you do comedy, and I know that's important to you, but if you have to be out like every single night and aren't going to be around, like she said to me early on in our relationship, like I can't be a weekend girlfriend. Like I can't just be like a Saturday, Sunday girlfriend.
Yeah. And
I understood that. And, I changed the way I do comedy a little bit, which has honestly been very healthy.
Yeah, I can, I'll attest to comedy doesn't always make for, especially, well,
and I love comedy, but the way I was doing it
was too hard,
was too much, and honestly made me lose some of what I loved from it. So honestly, it was like a lot better for me to disengage a little bit and do it in a different way that I feel like a lot more happy with the way I do comedy now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of on my own terms. And I don't, obviously I'm not on Netflix. You guys don't know who I am.
Well, we're the drinking buddies.
But I'm very funny. And I think I'm very good at it. And I love it. And it makes me feel happy every time I do it.
Yeah.
And I run a show that I'm very proud of the premise and the idea. And, I just do it on my own terms and I have fun with it. And I think that has given me back my love for comedy, which is something I had lost when I was just sitting at every open mic that's a lottery for hours, just waiting for my name to come out of the bucket, even though I got there
hours
20 minutes before the show started and I was the first one there. Just
although now the new yeah, it is a little. Lotteries are frustrating.
Yes.
There's only one lottery that I actually like, which was it's at this place called the Mexican Village.
Okay.
And their lottery is actually fun. That's run by a comic.
I've never been there. I'll check that out though.
It's in K-Town.
All right. Yeah, no, I know where it's at. I've just never been there for comedy.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's a cool little spot. Shout out to, I forget his name. Oh man, shout out to. Yeah, this is I'm a hot mess today, but that's a great open mic. And now that you had to make some compromise for you in that relationship. So you were like, okay, you can't be out every single night doing comedy,
right?
But I would say it gave you different things, like more things to talk about.
I absolutely think so. Yeah. I mean, I had a really strong relationship and I had, we were out engaging in life, which is important as a comic. Like, I think you have to, like, it's very easy to just do comedy all the time and be around it all the time. But then you have like
what do you
nothing
talk
to talk about
yeah.
other than comedy. And you see that sometimes and it's like, it's not,
I mean,
it's funny to comics maybe, but it maybe isn't funny to a regular audience.
Yeah, you're trying to play to the audience, the general public, not just the comics. Because if you play to the comics, you're not going to have much of a career.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, no, I think definitely have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to listen to the other person's needs. I think that's very important, and respect that, and also not give up everything of yourself. Like you have to also be willing to say like, okay, I understand that you need this. This is what I need, and find a balance in between, right? That works for both of you. So,
yeah, and yeah, that I mean, and like I said, every time, because I've lived with you, I've seen these things, and it just reinforces what it takes to have a good relationship, which I think should be the goal for most people. I think that's. We're supposed to be here to meet another person, I think. I mean, that's the most fulfilling thing I've ever had in life was that one relationship, even though it didn't work out. But I was happier than I had been in a while.
Yeah.
And being with somebody, it's more... It's better than money or stuff or things. It's a better feeling. You still need things and some stuff to be able to date, but
I mean, yeah, sir. I think like having, again, like going back to that, having someone in your corner, just having someone to share with, to laugh with, just like spend my time with, and just like who I generally just love being around. Like I just love hanging out with my wife, and if we're going out and going dancing, or we're going to a festival, or if we're just sitting on the couch and both on our computers or on our phones, or or we're watching a show together, like whatever it is that we're doing, like I just generally love being around her, and she makes everything better, no matter what the activity. So, and she's made, honestly, I told her just last night, I was talking to her, I was like, like you helped me, like I'm in a very good spot in my professional life, not comedy, but my regular professional life, and a lot of that is due to her being in my corner. You lived with me when I was working in a very crappy job that I hated, that was soul crushing.
Yeah.
And she was with me at the same time, and she gave me the courage to quit that job, which is the first job I've ever quit without having something else lined up and not having another.
That is a scary feeling.
Super scary.
Because I've done that too. And I quit a job, and then eventually it led to this one, but it took a while.
Yeah.
It took some time, and it was It was nerve-wracking, but I landed on my feet.
Yeah, it happens. And I mean, that's what happened. I quit that job. I did Uber for like a month or two. I found the job that I'm in now, and I'm about to have my 4-year anniversary. And in 4 years, my salary has doubled. I'm running the department that I'm in, and it's been fantastic. So,
and you did that just because you legitimately care about what you do,
right? But I mean, also like I couldn't have gotten there without her giving me the strength and the courage to leave the other job in the first place.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could be as successful in my job now if I didn't have that supportive home life that makes me a better person everywhere else that I'm at too.
Well, right? Statistically, men usually make more money when, share, but they usually do better when they're married versus single. And I think women, it's the opposite.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense, but whatever, that's just statistics.
Well, I mean, you got to throw in like if you're married, maybe you're going to have children, and maybe you want to be home with so that's going to change some of those numbers.
Yeah, that's usually why women make less, because they choose to have children, which is a wonderful thing, and
I don't advise it, but go for it if you want to.
I don't know. I do want kids someday.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I say that I joke, but I love I have a daughter who's grown up from a previous relationship who I love to death. My wife now doesn't want children, and we've had this conversation. We had that conversation very early on. Our second date, we went to Venice, had some food, and then walked around the boardwalk. And we're walking on the boardwalk, and a tiny 4-year-old child runs by just screaming at the top of his lungs. So, only the way kids can, like, ah! And my wife now, at the time, just looks over and just goes, nope. And that was it.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of our conversation. I was like, oh, so I take it you don't want children.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I was at a point in my life where I was half and half. Like I didn't necessarily want another child. Like I wasn't like gung ho about having one.
But you already have a kid, so it's like it's different for you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've already recreated your replacement.
Yeah. No, I mean, I will say that if you want to like just consider the amount of work that it takes, the amount of financial investment, the amount of time that it takes. Not for you, but just for people in general. I think a lot of times like people just think like, oh, like this is going to be a great thing and an easy thing, and they don't necessarily think about the work that goes into it.
It's a challenging thing. But my coworker has 2 kids.
Yeah.
And he's killing it.
Cool.
He's making life with his hammer. But his situation's always like up in the air. It's not easy, but he's making it work.
Yeah. I mean, you find a way usually.
Yeah, life finds a way.
Yeah, life.
But you found a woman that shares your values.
Right.
So that's the key. Is don't just like marry the first person that just likes. You have to really find someone that shares not just like taste in music, but I'm saying life values.
Yeah, I think we are very synergistic on a lot of things, a lot of our beliefs, and the places where we are different, like we respect each other's differences. Like, I love Counting Crows, and she accepts it, and she loves early 2000s emo rock, and I accept that. It's fun.
Well, nobody's perfect. But that's such a small like disagreement where it's not like core values. Right. Core values is what makes, I think, a relationship work in the long run. And if you have good core values, then it should work. I mean, you never know. Life is life.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not for you.
Don't worry. We know we're fine.
Okay. So I think we've done about 45. So I feel like this is a good talk. I hope this helps anyone out there, and I hope you laughed. And this is like almost a rebirth of the old days a little bit.
Yeah. No, it was nice to like you said get the band back together. It was good to jump on a show with you again. I miss that sometimes. We're both busy and have our lives, but it's great to like get that back together and do it. So
yeah,
thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Where can we find you for your shows?
I'm on Instagram as Meet Jerry Brandt, and that is the MEET Jerry with the J, Jerry, Brandt, Brandt. That is my most active social media platform, I would say.
Okay.
And then also Lovers Quarrel Comedy on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Comedy.
Nice.
That's my show. It's
a very good show.
Yeah, it's on a little bit of a hiatus while I try to find a new venue, but I expect to have something hopefully by July. So yeah.
Nice. I'm going to be at the Ice House on Friday at
Nice.
10 p.m. I got a booking over there, and then later on I'll be in Long Beach at the Wrigley Comedy Chew.
Ooh, Steven Torres' show.
Steven Torres.
Shout out Steven Torres. Hi.
Another good dude. Very cool guy, and a great show. One of my favorite shows in Long Beach. And
I keep meaning to hit him up to go down there and check that out. I'll have to send him an email.
maybe you can come down with me and we'll just hang out.
Sure. Let me know when it is because I got to,
The 29th, I think. I have to look. But
we can talk about this off the air.
Yeah. Business-wise, Chris Adams Comedy is a good place to find out all of my information, and I put up shows. And thank you all for watching.
Wait, before we go, I want to show everybody my shoes here real quick because oh no, I can't get it up there.
Don't fall over doing. Yeah, he coordinated blue.
Coordinated my shoes and my shirt, and I just want everybody to be impressed. That's what a good marriage can do for you. You can dress properly.
Well, yeah, she not makes you, but she gets you to dress better.
She inspires me to.
She inspires. There we go. She's an artist. That's why.
That's why.
All right. Have a good night.